Soon as we get this joke of a season out of the way, the better. I'm tired. I am tired, man. Every week, stepping onto a football pitch just to get punched up by any Tom, Dick and Harry. It could be from any league as well, as Sheffield United showed us this season. We are getting slapped about, and yeah, I just need the season to be over. I need us to go and get a manager that actually knows what he's doing. I need the board to, without swearing, I need the board to politely get out, because obviously your decision making has been atrocious. How have we not got Julian Nagelsmann in the door as yet? I do not know. We'll start off with the horror show that is my club at the moment. We were expected to turn up in the last game of the season. I mean, we did for the first half because we went 1-0 up. We ended up losing the game 3-1. And Brighton were good value for money for it as well. They were excellent in that second half. Brian and Burma in particular, even without the suspended Ivan Toney, who's just been convicted and now will serve an 8-month ban from all things football at the moment. And I just read today that he had 13 counts of bets against his club to lose games. So, yeah, they did all that without him. And there's not much more to say. Right? They booed the players off the pitch after full time, booed them on the lap of honour. It wouldn't even be a lap of honour, it's the lap of dishonour. It was horrible. And I would have done the same thing, because these clowns have literally put us firmly into the mud, and we deserve everything we're getting at the moment from all sides. So I'm here for it. I've been wanting to rebuild for ages. Get us Nagelsmann, go and give him the funds he needs, and let us obviously push ahead from that. We might lose Harry Kane this summer. A few others need to go anyway. Bring the rebuild on. I am over this team right now. Moving on to Anfield, Liverpool versus Aston Villa. Really decent game, and obviously Liverpool failed to beat Villa. It ended up being 1-1 from Anfield. Liverpool really needed to keep winning to keep pressure on Man United. And they didn't do that. So as you probably know now, Man United have nicked the last European spot with Newcastle. So the top four reads Man City, Arsenal, Man United at the moment, who are sitting in third, Newcastle, who are fourth. Yeah, Liverpool sold it. Aston Villa are pushing for Europe themselves, but a really decent game from what I understand. Aston Villa have been excellent since Unai Emery has come in. Liverpool had a little bit of a good run sort of back end of the season, but it's proved to be a little bit too late. Both those clubs should be in really good nick in the summer and the start for next season. I don't envisage being a sort of big rebuild for Liverpool, but they do at least need 4 new players, and they've got a few outgoings as well. So it will be interesting to see what happens there. Moving on to Molineux, Wolverhampton versus Everton. That draw might have saved Everton's season, because as it stands at the moment, all they need to do is beat Bournemouth final game of the season, and then they're safe, no matter what Leeds or Leicester try to do. Wolves are already safe, so there's not really much I can say about this game. I didn't really watch it. I can only go by the result. But Everton dug in and got a last-minute win. I believe it was the 97th minute from Yerry Mina. And that draw could prove absolutely pivotal to their safety. As for Wolves, as I said before, done really, really well. Understand they've got no funds at the moment, so Lopetegui is looking potentially to be out of a job very soon. And that would obviously mean a few players will probably be on their way as well. So keep it locked on that Wolverhampton development. Bournemouth 0, Manchester United 1. Again, another formality. Bournemouth already safe. Man United's cause for European football was stronger. And it was a simple 1-0 victory over a Bournemouth side that have done very, very well this season in the Premier League. I don't see them staying up though next season. Again, I said that this season, and look what's happened. So, no, one of those formality results. Not much to really talk about, because again, I didn't watch much football last weekend, to be quite honest with you. But Man United getting the job done, and obviously doing what they did yesterday as well, cemented them into the top 4 as we know it at the moment. We'll go to Craven Cottage next. Fulham 2, Crystal Palace 2. It ended, again, a little bit of a dead rubber. Both teams were safe. Not really much to sort of discuss, but a very, 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 very good game of football. End to end, loads of chances, lots of goals, lots of goal mouth incidents. Mitrovic on the score sheet again. both of these teams will do very, very well in the transfer market, I believe, this season. Kick on again next season. Marco Silva and obviously Roy Hodgson, respectively, at those clubs, should look to do bits in the summer. So I'll be keeping a close eye on both of those two teams as well. Nottingham Forest 1, Arsenal 0. That was from the City ground. That was the evening kickoff on Saturday, and that effectively gave Manchester City the title. Arsenal just had nothing left. As we've been saying all season, little bit of a bottle job from them. It's kind of what they do. I wasn't worried by Arsenal in the slightest. They go on pointless runs at pointless points in the season. Doesn't prove to do anything. Manchester City just gobbled them up and ended up winning the league with 6 points to spare or something like that. Nottingham Forest were excellent. Obviously, they've survived now, so they don't have to worry. Another season for them in the Premier League. Again, something else I called. I did say Nottingham Forest would be staying up in this league, and it's proved. So I'm very happy with my prediction there. On to West Ham versus Leeds. West Ham have they saved themselves as well. Leeds United are currently 19th at the moment, and Leeds United took the lead in this game as well from the London Stadium. But West Ham had other ideas. And they've saved themselves. Again, very, very good back end of the season for West Ham. They picked up a few vital points, including against Arsenal and others. But Leeds United are very much in the mire. We go to Leeds back end of the weekend, so that's a 4:30 kickoff. I'm not dreading it, but I don't see Leeds staying up. I personally see all three teams down there that need to stay up, all of them winning. So I do see Everton staying up. So we'll move on to the Amex Stadium. Brighton 3, Southampton 1. Already said relegated Southampton. Brighton obviously keeping that fantastic run going. They are now in Europe for the first time in their history in the Europa League. Their draw against Manchester City in the week already cemented that as well. And they will finish 6th in the league. Could actually finish higher, if I'm not mistaken, if they win their games, and obviously teams above them don't. But no, well done to Brighton. Very, very well done. De Zerbi done a brilliant job there. The players done excellent. And then enjoy Europa League football next season. Southampton, big rebuild needed. You'll probably lose the likes of James Ward-Prowse, Kaleta Sarr, Lavia, whoever else there, to be quite honest with you. It's going to be a very, very, very long rebuild for them. But they were 9-1 to come straight back up, so that might be worth a tenner on that. Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0. Obviously, the game that Manchester City were crowned champions. Julian Alvarez on the score sheet once again. Chelsea just very much firmly in the mud. And if you saw yesterday's result against Man United as well for the 4-1, you'd see there is a lot for Pochettino to do when he goes there. But he does have a team that he can work with. He's got players that are obviously very experienced. He's got players that are very skillful. And personally would need to build a team around João Felix for me. Final game of that weekend was Newcastle 0, Leicester 0 from St James's Park. Leicester surprised me a little bit. I wasn't expecting Leicester to keep a clean sheet because they've been shocking at doing it all season. But the one time they needed to try and save themselves, almost nicked it at the end as well. They did it against one of the sort of front runners in the league this season. Ended up being 0-0 at St James's, but a very, very, very good game. Lots of action in it, but unfortunately didn't get the goal that was required. But Newcastle into the Champions League now. Leicester pretty much need Everton to fail to win their game, and then they need to win theirs, obviously, if they've got any chance of staying up on the final day on Sunday. Brighton 1, Manchester City. This was in the week on Wednesday. As I stated before, 1-1 draw from the Amex. And Cisse with a brilliant equaliser for Brighton after Phil Foden gave Manchester City the lead. Obviously, Man City were already winning. They were already champions at the time. Maybe they took their foot off the gas a little bit. But Brighton still had things to play for. They still had things to play for. And they played out of their skin. Probably should have won the game as well. But I thought Brighton were really, really good for obviously what they needed to do. And final game, Manchester City versus Chelsea. That was from Old Trafford. We were expecting a blowout, but, you know, Chelsea are just, they're just horrendous. They are absolutely horrible. And it's gutting for Chelsea fans, and I love it that it's killing them. I love that it's killing them. Manchester United have sealed the fourth Champions League spot, as I stated before. Chelsea have sealed 10th and 11th place in the Premier League. Oh man, but they'll be back next season. So unfortunately, our laughs will not be for too long. But yeah, Manchester United 4, Chelsea 1. Marcus Rashford on the score sheet. Bruno Fernandes as well. Martial, I believe, scored also. And Casemiro, I believe, was the fourth goal scorer. He scored first, I believe. Felix obviously coming in for Chelsea and getting a goal back. Final day, Sunday. Final predictions of the season before I give myself a break and the heartache of watching my disastrous club at the moment. I am sweltering in this car. Jesus Christ, it is so hot at the moment. So I'll whiz right through this. So Villa Park, and keep in mind every game starts at 4:30, so there are no early kickoffs on a Sunday, as usual on the final day of the season. Villa Park, Aston Villa versus Brighton. Two teams that have got nothing to play for at the moment. I'm talking about Aston Villa can still get into Europe as well. I'll go with a 1-1 draw with that one. Brighton can't fall out of the European places. Aston Villa can still nick 7th, and I believe both will. So I'll go with a draw. Goodison Park, Everton versus Bournemouth. I'm going to go with an Everton 1-0 win. Everton will save themselves. Leeds United versus Spurs. I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw there. Leeds will get relegated. Tottenham will finish outside the European places. G-Tech Stadium, Brentford versus Manchester City. Brentford firmly in the top 10. That's where they will stay. They can't move up. They can't move down. Manchester City already champions. I'm going to go with a 1-0 Manchester City win. Man United already confirmed in the Champions League. They still need to consolidate third place against Fulham. I think they will at home at Old Trafford. I'm going to go with a 2-0 Man United win there. Chelsea versus Newcastle from Stamford Bridge. Newcastle still need to try to get third against a very useless Chelsea side. I say that, but I do think Newcastle will nick it. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win there. Leicester versus West Ham. From the King Power, I'm going to go with a Leicester City 2-1 win over West Ham. But I don't think it's going to be enough, as Everton will win, and I think Leicester will be gone. From the Emirates, Arsenal versus Wolverhampton Wanderers. Again, both teams have nothing to play for. Arsenal kind of just down tools a little bit, so Wolves will probably go with an Arsenal 2-0 win. Southampton versus Liverpool. Liverpool will probably be in the Europa League. They're in 5th at the moment. Southampton already relegated. Liverpool, formality result. Bobby Firmino's last appearance. We'll go with a 2-0 win. And finally, Crystal Palace versus Nottingham Forest from Selhurst Park. Two teams again consolidated their positions in the league. Will be playing Premier League football next season. I see that being a 2-1 win to Crystal Palace. That's me. I'm going to get inside and cool off because Jesus Christ, it is baking out here. Try and join your weekend. Come on Luton Town as well. They're in action tomorrow in the championship playoff against Coventry. Winner comes up to the Premier League. So come on Luton, do the thing. That's me. I will do one more video in the week, potentially Thursday, Friday. But yeah, until then, enjoy your weekend, enjoy your bank holiday, and I'll speak to you guys soon.